Hello everyone, welcome to Sunburned, Albino plays Ace Attorney Trilogy episode 32. We just finished talking to you. I'm a couple days late here, or since the last thing, so I'm not 100% sure where we're supposed to go. But I'm sure we'll figure it out. Yeah, like, we're not supposed to talk to you, so that's fine. I thought we had just gotten permission to search his office. The high Gants. I thought we did that. And I presented you with every, single piece of evidence, period. So there shouldn't be anything else that you have to do for me. Dark's crimes, yeah, all that. Oh, yeah, okay. Aha! I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet. There he is! It looks like he's writing something. What are you doing here? He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh? I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me? Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you. That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings. So, what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I can do, and nothing I do can erase that fact. But you didn't know, did you? I mean, that the evidence was falsified. The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error, my responsibility as the prosecutor in charge. That fact remains the same, no matter what excuses I might have. Mr. Edgeworth, I take pride in my work, so tell me why. Why has it all come to this? Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First last year's trial, and now this one. Seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial. Tomorrow is the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? The list of evidence, it seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. It's only half as long as most lists? That is all. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time. Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time. That picture? Something seems strange about it. Alright, we'll show them that picture in a little bit then. Could you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered. You were participating in a ceremony over at the station, right? I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one. Because you were awarded this? Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department. You finished up at the office? Yes, just odds and ends, clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is, until I was asked to take something back. Take something back? This. Oh yeah, Chief Gant asked you to hold on to that, didn't he? Yes, it was a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to? That's right. What is the deal with that screwdriver? Shall we do a case? But this isn't related to the case, remember? You said so yourself. So I did. Chief Gant gave this to you that day, didn't he? He asked you to bring it here from the police department. The chief is a very competent man, but sometimes he does things that don't make any sense. At least it's better than being incompetent and doing things that don't make sense. A certain detective comes to mind. It seems everything in this case is designed to cast doubt on me. Hey, don't look at me! Yes, I went into the evidence room on the day of the crime. Chief Gant asked me to do something. To take evidence from a case solved 6 months ago back to the prosecutor's office. I have a locker in there as well. Did you notice anything amiss when you were in the evidence room? That room's always dark, and I was in a hurry. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy. Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me. Yes? The trophy Mr. Marshall is holding. It's a little different than yours. Yes, you're right. Ah, I remember now. Remember what? That was what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind its design. A story? Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us? It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award's based on. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with 2 characters. The first means halberd, and the second means shield. Have you heard this story? Me? Oh, sure. Everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it, though? For Emma's sake. Very well. Long ago, in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day, he presented the king with 2 items. The first was a halberd he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon. Wait a minute. Those claims contradict each other! Very perceptive. But then again, you've heard this story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very descriptions of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless, and thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born. Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and broken knife symbolize... Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words, but it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this. Wow, thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today. That's funny. If that's so, then why were you only given a shield? You'll have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the award abolished. Chief Gant? Yeah, 'cause he used it as a murder weapon, that's why. It's so obvious. It's the most obvious. What else can we present you with? Neil's autopsy report? Right, please, I'm the prosecutor on this case. You don't expect me to sit here and discuss the case with you over a cup of tea. I'll pass on the tea, just tell me about the case. Mr. Wright, Mr. Edgeworth just told you no in a very stylish manner. Whose side are you on, anyway? Maybe if I just show him my best evidence. Alright, okay. Alright. Nothing to that. Security video? No. Alright. Marshall's fingerprints. Oh yeah, tell me about the jar, because that's in the photo also. Oh, come on! Come on. Oh yeah, we already did that. So the evidence... Okay, so a couple of those are set to do like the same stuff. You know anything about the glove? No, you don't? Okay, well, you know, whatever. What about the floor plans? No, you don't know anything about the floor plans either. Goodman's Lost Item Report doesn't matter. Luminol, Switchblade Life doesn't matter. Oh, maybe the Switchblade Knife matters. Please discuss the case with me over a cup of tea. Like, what's the problem? What do you think about Lana Skye? No, it doesn't open any dialogue about Lana Skye? Okay. Thought it could've. It might've. It could've, might've. You entered the lot at 5:12 p.m. 5:12, whereas you entered the ID room at 4:40. Alright. But they're a half hour away. Which means you would have spent no less than 2... Okay. They keep talking about how the Criminal Affairs Department and the Prosecutor's Office are half an hour away. And the underground parking lot is to the Prosecutor's Office, not the Criminal Affairs Department. So then, if you were here at 4:40, is that you entering or leaving? Probably entering. Then you would have needed to... It would have taken you a half hour to drive to the underground, which means you could have spent no more than 2 minutes in here. Which I guess is technically possible. Because you said you were in a hurry and you were just getting a screwdriver. So you got the screwdriver, like you arrived at the thing, got the screwdriver, that took 2 minutes, then you drove straight back to the underground parking lot where your stub says 5:12, so that was a 32-minute drive. Or at least a 32-minute gap. $17:12. This is date of the day of the crime. Yep. Murder took place 3 minutes after Edgeworth parked his car. Only he was held up at a couple extra red lights, he wouldn't have been caught up in this whole affair. Oh man, never know what'll happen when you run a yellow light. Yep, that's the lesson here. 100% it is. What do you say to this parking stub? You don't say anything? Alright, fine. What do you say about the King of Prosecutors trophy? You know, it wouldn't hurt if you put this up somewhere, like on a shelf. That has no meaning for me anymore. What do you mean, anymore? That's who I was last year. What good is it to dwell on the past? He's asking me? Why can't he just accept it graciously? Actually, something's been troubling me about this shield. Look, do you notice anything different? Different? Yeah, don't you remember? The other shield in the court record? I guess I'd better present this other shield. What other shield? We already did that part, so... Yeah, whatever. Yes, there's a story. Would you mind telling me the story that I don't actually want to hear again? Okay, so we're done with you. Back to the parking lot. Oh, here we go. Excuse me? Oh, well, of course it's you. I don't know why they're trying to be all mysterious about it. Would either of you care for a quarter-pound of roast beef? Miss Starr! I guess she's out of lunches. You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk. Still, I never thought you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago. Everyone in this trial was involved in the SL9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence from that case was due for transferal. This can all be attributed to mere coincidence. Aren't you forgetting something? You know, that little scene I happened to witness? The instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. Miss Starr's hatred toward Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago. Joe Dark. That's a name I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think I was even ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall, though, must have been going through hell. You mean because of his brother's death? They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate. Her? Lana Skye. My sister? The best of the best were put on that SL9 case. Of course, they were led by that legendary duo. Lana and Chief Gant. That legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out. You mean with the forging of the evidence? Don't get me wrong, Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear, while other items were kept secret. But you don't have proof anything illegal was done. I'm proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties, most without even so much as an explanation. Then Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing's quite as simple as it appears. Huh? Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter. She was being used? Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she? Yes, thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence. Chief? That's right. Having solved the SL9 case, his position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control, and then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office. What? You mean that's why Lana was transferred? If he could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along. But how could he control Lana? I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude there must have been a reason for her change. At last, I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Starr. You listen to me, rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been. Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Gant led the investigation with Lana second in command. They were the best. They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they? Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was almost unreal. His magnetism? By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. He'd produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled. Incredible evidence? You mean... Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him though. I take it she's talking about forged evidence. Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her. Really? Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall. When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would have ever recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating. Miss Starr. That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that? Alright, well what can we present to you? Have you seen my attorney's bench? I don't have anything else to tell you. The only thing I can give you now is a poppy seed rice set. Talk about cheap. Eat this and maybe you'll be able to tell black from white in court tomorrow. I mean, she's saying she doesn't have anything else to tell me. I feel like we should take the hint. What if we go back here and back here? Yes, good. Oh, you're back. You're still here? I gotta make 150 copies of these files. Brewing coffee, copying files. I'm turning into a regular DJ. You're a DJ as well? If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey. Oh, that DJ. I gotta admire your persistency, but my answer's still no. I'm not letting you in the chief's office, period. It'd be my neck on the line. That office is the last crime scene in the SL9 incident. I have to take a look in there. There's gotta be something we can do to make the detective change his mind. I gotta present him with something. Let me share a little advice with you as a detective. You don't have a clue, keep your trap shut. Okay. Show me that team picture. Show me the King of Prosecutors trophy. Hey, that's it. That's the king of prosecutors award that Mr. Edgeworth got the other day. Were you at the award, sir? Of course, I got an award for diligence myself. Oh, Chinese parable, yeah. Yeah, everyone knows that. Okay, this is new dialogue. There was this, dragon. Yeah, that's it, a dragon. He had a thing for shields, see? That's not exactly the version we heard. No, but this one sounds more exciting. Anyway, it gets kind of gory after that. I'll spare you the details. Oh, that's it? Hey, your blue badger's like super cool. You mind if I go in the chief's office? This guy almost made us lose the case today. What are you— oh no. This guy almost made us lose the case today. What are you talking about? He was guarding the bloodstain on that evidence locker with his life. That's more than you can say about most officers nowadays. It would have saved us a lot of trouble if he hadn't guarded it so well. I have to admit he's right though. Thanks to the Blue Badger, we were able to prove another possibility today. The possibility that another murder took place prior to 5:15 p.m. What can I show you? Hey, that powder's used for detecting fingerprints. Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth gave it to us. He did what? I thought you gave it to us. All I have is some flour. Are you okay, detective? Quick, run! Achoo! If it's any help, one time I took a nap on a bench with wet paint. Why am I not comforted? Alright. The jar. About that jar, I think I've seen it before somewhere. Somewhere? Or maybe it's one of those memories people— oh my god. Why is no one able to connect the jar to the picture yet? I'm so far ahead of this shit. I already showed you the files, I already showed you the video. People are like, using it, everyone ain't buying a pal. Hey, my attorney's badge should let me in there. Detective, here is my attorney's badge. You show this to me every time we meet, pal. Real men show their police badge. Enough said. I wish I had a badge. Even an ID card would be nice. This ID card belongs to the victim. You can do just about anything these days with a card and number. You keep dropping your card. There has to be some way we can convince him, but I don't know what that would be. Let's go to the detention center. Do you have anything to say about any of the evidence we have found? Attorneys and prosecutors have no business showing evidence outside court. It's taboo, especially when the interests of both parties are involved. She really means it. Okay, so we probably shouldn't show her anything then? Well, if you got nothing to say about the picture, you got nothing to say about anything. That's for sure. Unless you know something about the jar. Nope, figures. Okay, I'm literally just gonna present every piece of evidence to you one at a time until you let me into that goddamn office. Found in Mr. Edgeworth's car, stabbed with Mr. Edgeworth's knife, huh? What would drive Chief Prosecutor Skye to do such a thing? Well, wait, I mean, sure, of course, someone else really did it. Someone who must have, someone who must have a grudge against Mr. Edgeworth. Alright, so that takes care of both of those. Did the Blue Badger. Goodman's autopsy report. You don't like the autopsy report. Goodman's note. You don't like the note. Do you like Lana's cell phone? Don't like the cell phone. Do you like the parking lot floor plans? You sure don't. How about the crime photo? That's the photo that Miss Starr took. You don't say. Anything you can tell us about it? And Miss Starr is quite the lady. Why, I remember it was winter. I was 16. She was the only one who ever got me to talk about what happened. 16? That's how old I am now. I wonder what happened. I wonder if Detective Gumshoe wore a trench coat in high school, too. About the shoe? Nope. Don't care about the shoe. About this. Hey, is that? It has a tag attached to it with the label SL9 incident on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of? What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker. On the day... yeah, we already did all that. Hey, I just bought some of that stuff. Now I can go around detecting blood traces too. Wow, is that a new type? I've never seen that bottle before. Add 3 inches to your base height. Base height? Hey, let me see that. Looming tall. New and improved growth formula. You mean this can't detect any blood traces? Well, it's not quite the same thing as luminol. So that's why the lady at the counter had that smirk on her face. Wow. That's the ID card record, isn't it? Yeah, how about you tell me 7777777? There's only one number left to investigate. Victim Detective Goodman must have entered the evidence room along with someone else. Someone with an executive officer number. 7777777. That's 17 too many, Detective. An executive officer might just have a hunch. Obviously. We looked at the floor plans. We looked at the glove. No locker can be opened without a fingerprint match. Besides, there's no reason for the murderer to touch his own locker. Hey, wasn't your locker the one with blood on it? The handprint of the real glove is there without any fingerprints. If they come to arrest me, he'll defend me. It's been there. We already tried the jar. Already tried Marshall's fingerprints. Oh, can't believe Officer Marshall will do something like that. You know Officer Marshall? Of course I do. He was like a mentor to me. When I first started out, he even gave... Cactus shit again. I have shown you everything that there is. There's nothing... For some reason, Neil's autopsy report is not doing it for you. It's bullshit. Piece of crap. You're the worst detective ever. You let me in the you let me in there right now. You let me in there! You let me in there now! I don't even get the, like, what to do, any ideas stuff. What am I supposed to do? And nobody's got other things to say. I have presented you with everything. I don't have anything else to tell you. Oh yeah? What about the unstable jaw? You don't have anything else to tell me? What do you gotta tell me about the SL9 incident files Gant team picture? Oh, you got nothing else? Oh, what about the what about the evidence locker? Dude, you got nothing at all. You're absolutely useless. You're the most useless person I ever saw in my life. It's actually kind of infuriating. Just a little bit. You're so useless, I don't even know what to do with myself. Oh my god, how useless are you? I'm just sitting here like, oh, all I can think about all day is how fucking useless you are. Jesus Christ, you're so useless. Here, a phone, let's see if it works. Oh yeah, don't touch that. Hey, phone's broken now, whatever. We don't need to examine anything anymore either. We've already done it all. Edgeworth, is there something else I can talk to you about? Attorney's badge! I once dreamed of being a defense attorney a long time ago. What? You wanted to be a defense attorney? Yet a clear path is laid out before me. I have no time to look back on what might have been. Well, will you talk about Neil's autopsy report? Maybe if I just show them. They keep acting like I've got more evidence to show him. Tell me about the damn jar. How about Marshall's fingerprint? Well, you got nothing to say about that, huh? What do you got to say about the security video? Well, you got nothing to say about the security video either. Oh, what about the SL9 incident files? Oh, you got nothing to say about the SL9 incident files. Oh, what about... I already showed you the canteen picture. Yes. Speaking of that, the trophy, it's a little different. Yes, you're right. Did you know? Ah, I remember. Yes, there was a story. Yeah, okay, How about the floor plans? No, you got nothing about the floor plans. My best evidence would have been the screwdriver. That's one fingerprinting set. Maybe if I just show him my best evidence. That's what I was trying to goddamn do, man. Switchblade knife. I have shown him every piece. of evidence that there is. Gosh darn it. Oh! My best piece of evidence. I already showed him everything. I already showed him everything. I already showed him everything. It's almost like there's evidence that I don't have yet that I'm supposed to have. Oh yeah! The thing you crumpled on the goddamn floor! I wonder what he was writing before. Come on, Mr. Wright, let's take a look. Are you crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there. Just distract him. I'll check it out. Hey, Edgeworth. Is that Detective Gumshoe out the window there? Oh no! He's falling to the ground! Hold on. First let me see what this girl's doing crawling around my feet. He didn't even look. What? Letter of... If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. It says letter of resignation. Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean... I'm tired, right? I feel as if something inside me has died. But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault! I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either. Uh-oh. I think he's serious. Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something. This letter of resignation. I wonder if I can use it for anything. Oh, we can give that to Detective Gumshoe! Damn, were you guys all pissed off that I didn't open that letter like 20 minutes ago? You know me, I miss small details even though they happen right in front of my face, but then I instantly forget about them. Bam, 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 bam. If you don't let me in there right now, Edgeworth's gonna retire. Do you want that? What's this crumpled up piece of paper? No way! Mr. Edgeworth can't be serious! Is he ever not serious? I can't believe they pushed him this far! Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible. When I first met him, I thought he was cold as ice too. But I know different now. He trusted us detectives to provide him with sound evidence, but we betrayed him. Detective? That's it. I've made up my mind. But... Here, take my ID card. We can't do that. If someone found out, they wouldn't let you off the hook with another lost item report. Look at me. It's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated. What? So at least let me do this. For Mr. Edgeworth's sake. All right, Detective. Thank you. Gumshoe's ID tucked swiftly in my pocket. Let's go get it. Hopefully he's not in there. Here goes, Mr. Wright. Click. Beep. Dude, I want to play that organ. We're in! If anyone finds us now, Detective Gumshoe's a goner. If that happens, I'm counting on you to bail me out. Eek! Ah! Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I didn't even know you could slap a ghost. Ah! Detective Gumshoe! What are you doing sneaking up on us like that? I wasn't sneaking. I was just worried something might go wrong. So I came too. If you're here, then what's the point in giving us your ID card? Gumshoe's ID card crushed and rendered unusable in pocket. Hey, don't do that to my card! Why would you do that? Why would you just break his ID card? I hardly ever get a chance to come in here, so I figured I'd have a look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now. You really do want to get fired, don't you? Not if we're lucky. Now come on, let's see what we can find out. I've got a bad feeling about this. Alright, let's see what we can examine here. Wow, look at the size of Chief Gant's desk! Speaking of that, when we were here earlier... Oh, it's you two! Chief Gant! He put that paper he was reading in his desk. I wonder what he was reading.
This looks like a list of evidence.
A list of evidence?
In most cases, the list runs twice as long as this, though.
Hey, look at the case name.
Huh? SL9 incident. I wonder what this is doing here.
Hold on, detective. What did you just say?
I said, I wonder what...
No, about evidence lists. Normally they're twice as long?
That's right. I guess there wasn't a lot of evidence.
A half-size list of evidence. The list of evidence. It seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. What would the other half of the list be doing here?
I knew it! The chief must be hiding something about that case!
It would appear so.
Ooh, I would say that half is legit and the other half is fake.
Which means... we'll have to see which one this is. Hey, how about you let me, like, actually read what's on it, though? Oh, what the fuck? I wonder what this is. Looks like someone drew some kind of sketch here.
What is it? Did you find something?
I can't make it out. I had better keep quiet about it for now. Huh? Oh, no, it's nothing.
Why are your eyes moving about like that, Mr. Wright?
I'd better not forget about this picture. Why would we hide that from her? Also, you can totally make it out. It's someone stabbing somebody. Who can't see that? This ain't no ink blot test. This ain't no Rorschach test. That's clearly what the thing is. This is the real deal, isn't it? This armor and these weapons?
Sure is, pal. The chief doesn't care for imitations.
First the pipe organ, now this armor. Do you know how many taxpayer dollars must have gone into this room?
What? You mean we're paying for this? That's it. I'm not paying 1 cent of my taxes.
You don't have any taxes to pay.
Shh, be careful of what you say. Who knows? Chief may be hiding in this armor as we speak.
I don't think he'd fit in there.
Even if he did, he'd never be able to get back out. Cut it out. You guys don't know how scary that guy can be.
Okay, well there's the so this would be where they took the picture then. Because they did it right behind this armor. Unless there was one over here too, but there's not. But, yeah, I mean, yeah, still. Now what's this? This is a safe, isn't it?
Safe. That word is ripe with intrigue.
Okay, if you say so.
It looks like a code needs to be entered in this panel to open it.
A 7-digit number. I think I just might know what it is.
Do you know what it is?
I have a hunch.
Oh, I know. You want to try my birth date. It's...
I have a better idea. Here goes nothing.
Eat it! That's what I thought.
Bingo.
What number did you enter? Whose birthday was that, pal?
77777777. The final ID card number on that record.
What? The number of the mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day.
Oh wait, that's what I said.
You mean 77777777? That ID number?
I think you're 1 7 shy this time. This can only mean one thing. That's Chief Gant's ID number.
Say, anyone care to look inside?
Yeah, fucking look inside that damn safe.
Is there any money in there? How much does he have stashed away? Look, it's a shard from a broken cup.
This somehow looks familiar. Where have I seen this before?
There's something else in here, too.
What's this? Looks like a piece of leather cloth.
This is a handprint, isn't it? Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. You think the chief made up the design? I don't think so. Oh, well, it was just a thought. Is that it? This is all that was in the safe?
Apparently so. It's empty now.
A piece of cloth with a handprint on it and a broken shard from a cup.
They look like pieces of evidence.
Yeah, but unless you can prove they have something to do with this case, I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here.
Great. Now I have to prove their relevancy to get them. How are these two items related to the SL9 incident?
Come on, there's gotta be something we can show the detective.
Yeah, this frickin' jar for one. Detective Gumshoe, could you have another look at this jar?
I remember when the three of us put that back together. Ah, those were the days.
It's kind of early to be nostalgic.
Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence from that case? That's right. One of the shards had an SL9 incident sticker on it.
Doesn't this ring any bells? You know that fragment we just found?
You mean this one that was in the safe?
Yes, that one. That was in the safe.
Ah! Now that you mention it, it's ringing a lot of bells. Let's see if it fits.
Here, let me see that shard. I'll take a crack at this.
Go ahead, pal. Show us what a rookie can do.
Mr. Wright, here's some glue. If I can piece this together again, it'll prove Chief Gant was knowingly hiding evidence. Here goes. Why would he only have the one shard? Are you kidding me? Okay. There, it fits like a charm. That of course means Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in his safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SL9 incident.
But, hey guys, get a load of this.
What is it?
This piece you just attached. It's different from the others.
It is?
There's a reddish line on it.
A reddish line? That's blood.
I don't get it. Why would Chief Gant hide this in his safe?
Yeah, I know, there was already blood on the other fragments. It's almost like this is supposed to read some kind of character. Like somebody, I don't know, someone was drawn on it.
Hey, look here, it's hard to make out, but there's a dark red stain here.
That's not hard to make out at all, actually. Looks like blood.
This piece the Chief has is different, though. The bloodstains on the other pieces are just spots, but this one's a line.
That is odd. Well, if I'm supposed to put my blood spatter analysis expertise to the test, I would say that I have no idea. I already examined the bottom of this thing. This thing doesn't have a bottom, that's weird. Wonder which side is up. Better yet, what's the purpose of a bottomless jar? At least it doesn't collect dust inside. Which side is up? Oh, does that mean this could be the top side? But then also, what's the point? What's the point of anything? I don't know, man. Okay, well that's the evidence for the thing. We should do fingerprint analysis on that other thing. Detective Gumshoe, I'd like you to have a look at this.
Hey, I know what that is. So you want to take some fingerprints?
That's a great idea, Detective.
Alright, go to town. Sheesh.
What are you doing? Why are you sticking out your hand like that?
Go ahead, take my fingerprints.
It's not your fingerprints we want to take.
Huh?
Come on, this isn't the time for jokes. We're talking about that cloth we found in the safe.
Oh, haha, I knew that. The one with the handprint on it, right? Sheesh, where's your sense of humor?
Okay, Mr. Wright, let's check for prints. Sprinkle the powder on the cloth, then, once they've been absorbed into the prints, blow the rest away. What are you, my mom? I don't have to be told a million times. Alright, let's get this over with. Alright, let's dust the thumbprint first. Even though that doesn't make any sense to do it all. I gave it my best shot. That kind of result won't be any good, but yeah, we'll get a... Okay, try a different finger then. This middle one looks like the best one. Do 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 do. Am I missing something?
What's the problem? There you go. Let's see, that is not Damon Gant's. Would it be Neil Marshall's? Or perhaps Bruce Goodman's? It's not Jake Marshall. That almost looks like Officer Meekins. Oh no, that is Bruce Goodman, whoops. Oh, that is pretty close. It looks like Lana Skye's too. Oh, maybe this is Lana Skye's, but in reverse. Oh, it's Emma's. Like 100% it is. No. How can this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here? Hey, you found a match? Whose fingerprints were they? Huh? Oh, it seems the prints are too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match. Dude, stop fucking lying to people who are trying to help you. We have to figure this out together. God, you're the worst. Oh, that's too bad. I thought they'd be Dark's prints. Psst. Hey, you. Over here. What's going on here? What are that kid's prints doing inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me. Let's just keep this information from Emma for now. Why? Here, maybe you should hold on to this. Dude, this whole cloak and dagger thing is so unnecessary. You're supposed to just be open with people. Pissing me off. That desk on the other side of the room, was that your sister's? Yes, that's where I was waiting for Lana. On that day 2 years ago. Is anyone using it now? No, sir. This is entirely Chief Gant's office now. He practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene. That's a strange reason to leave it there. He leaves it as a warning to everyone else. He wants us to always be alert. He told us so himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time. I see. So ever since Lana left, no one ever touches that desk? No one except Chief Gant, and the cleaning lady who's in here each morning. Still, 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't possibly be any clues remaining. Or can there? Can I ask you something? Sure. You only came here to look around, right? Because it's one of the SL9 crime scenes. I mean, that's your only reason for coming in here, isn't it? Why do you ask? You don't think... Nah, you wouldn't be... No. No, there's no way. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Okay, now then let's look around a bit more. Hey, hold on. Not so fast, buddy. Huh? What is it? When someone tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to start bothering you, pal. You don't just let it go at that. Sorry. This guy's starting to get on my nerves. Okay, so what's bothering you? You two don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect, do you? What? He's right, Mr. Wright. What do we think of him? Chief Gant. So it's finally come to this. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings yet. There you go, ignoring me again. Well, was I any help? Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence. Now that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Isn't that right, you in the coat? Eek! Chief Gant! We didn't think you'd be back so soon. Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in signs. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out a window and saw a stray dog run right into a pole. Just then, I thought of a certain detective. Do you mean me, sir? Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave. Yes, sir. Sorry. Oh, you in the coat. Me, sir? Drop off your ID on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore. But, sir... Now get out! Yes, sir. We'll be on our way too, then. Wait, you, the one without the spiky hair.
Don't go yet.
Me, sir?
I'd like a word with you.
But sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet.
You, with the spiky hair, you're free to go.
Mr. Wright!
Look, pal, if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. The chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you?
I thought you said you didn't care anymore if you were fired.
Yeah, but if I knew it'd be like this, I never would have said it.
Now that I've seen the evidence Chief Gant was hiding in his office, I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. But why has she kept eerily silent about it all this time?
Anyway, you listen to me. I'm gonna try to smooth things over with the chief again. Later, pal.
After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police wanted to ask her some questions, so she'll be busy for the rest of the day.
I see. So the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning.
It's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here.
But I've already told you all I can.
What you've told me over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing.
Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman.
You know, I think I've finally figured it out. I know who it is that's lurking behind your words.
Mia did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous.
Huh?
It seems Edgeworth was right.
Edgeworth?
Once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term he used, I believe.
Now's my chance to get her to tell me the rest of the story. I have to admit I was more than a little perplexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth. It's that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual.
What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say? So you think I'm protecting this person?
Protecting? No. I think afraid of is more like it. Huh. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence.
For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, whom, may I ask, is this person you're speaking of? The one I am supposedly so frightened of. What's this person's name?
Well, Miss Skye?
Mr. Wright, you are addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place.
I take it she's still not ready to spill the beans.
My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective.
Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes?
His crimes?
Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did, specifically hiding and forging evidence.
Of course, these are serious offenses.
Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned?
Chief Gant?
Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was
me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation.
Yes, you, but also one other, Damon Gant.
If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant falsified evidence in that case.
Alright, I'll show you the goddamn I'll show you the unstable jar, actually. I just found this in a safe in the chief's office. This jar piece and this piece of cloth. Do you know what these are? They're pieces of evidence from the SL9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him?
Touché, Mr. Wright. It's as you surmise. I cannot disobey the chief's orders, even if it means being found guilty for murder.
Why not?
Come now, Mr. Wright, you can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate.
In the murder of Detective Goodman.
Or perhaps I should say, follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car.
Just as I suspected.
Despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman. Correct. I was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk's lock was broken, and I discovered that murder weapon while inspecting the body. The murder weapon? You mean Edgeworth's knife? No. When I found the body, this was the knife stuck in it. The knife from the SL9 incident. Serial killer Joe Dark's knife. I couldn't just leave that knife in him, so I took it out and stabbed him with another knife. That would be Edgeworth's knife? That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand. And that is the reason for the bandage on your right hand? Yes. It seems that I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. And then... she saw me just as I plunged the knife in. Miss Starr, huh? Why did you need to hide Dark's knife so badly? It took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be opened again. My intent was to prevent that, by whatever means possible. So, you hid Dark's knife? The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with that. So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it? In Edgeworth's exhaust pipe? Right. Then I called my sister to tell her what happened and to ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler. You asked Emma? I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. That would explain why Emma is so confident about Lana's innocence. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day. A bad feeling? The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall. To Marshall? Why on earth would you call him? The lead investigator for the SL9 incident had been murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust. Or at least I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own. Oh, you mean... Not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. He disguised himself as Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. He had already stolen the ID card, but it seems he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared. So your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room? I'm afraid that's all I can tell you. But Lana! You've earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. Tomorrow's trial. There's only one way to drive off Lana's demons. I've got to get to the bottom of everything. Detective Goodman's real murderer. And what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago. That's gonna be a long-ass trial. Oh, it's gonna be a long-ass trial. This whole case has been a long-ass trial. But that's gonna do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.